All right, today my guest is a retired chiropractor, a self and breath facilitator, a self-defined disruptor. She's been featured in Forbes, Ebony, the Washington Post, just to name a few. And with over 15 years of experience in the health and wellness field, I am honored to sit down with my guest, Dr. Crystal Jones, on this episode of Young, Black, and Vegan. Dr. Crystal, how you doing? How was that intro? Did I get it all? Did I miss some things?
I love it. And what I love most about it is how you see me, or how you take in the things, and it's interesting to see how people see me.
In your experience, when clients maybe don't feel safe, that shows up in different ways and like health complications, and have you seen any improvement in health like once they reach that inner safety or feeling of inner safety?
Anytime someone's voice is limited or feels like it's limited, a lot of the things that people need to speak, to create, to choose, they feel like they don't have the ability to. And when you don't have the ability to choose, or you feel like you don't have the ability to choose, kind of just wandering through the world doing whatever somebody else is telling you to do. For a long time in chiropractic practice, most people who came to me had been given up on by most providers. 3 weeks to live, a month to live, a year to live, and this is what they would tell me. And I would ask them, well, is that true? And it might have been the first time they were asked the question versus giving. So what their body believes on a cellular level it just increases and it expands.
So it sounds like you help people to take their power back and get their voice back, and then by, that expands their imagination so they can kind of create the health and the life that they want. Does that sound about right?
I witness people do that themselves.
Yeah.
They haven't been seen. So they have had to come to someone who can do that for them. I don't do that for them. That is a reason why I moved out of chiropractic practice, because when people aren't aware that they're doing it themselves, they think that I'm doing it. So they keep coming back to me versus keep coming back to the practice.
Right.
And so what I want to do, or what I intend to do with the altar call, is to help them recognize that they're always coming back to the practice, not me.
So let me ask you this. On your site it says you're a multi-modal atmosphere curator. Break that down. What is that? I'm
just so present. I'm present by assignment, and as it had been my assignment, it's just kind of who I am. Most times I'm showing up in places where people aren't present. I gotta network here, I gotta figure this out, or I gotta get this information, or I gotta do all of these things, and I disrupt that. I disrupt this need to be so outside of yourself. Most people who show up in many places are in their heads, and they're trying to survive. Whatever they're doing, they're trying to survive.
Right.
And so whatever language, and those can be known as modalities, but whatever language I'm being asked to speak into, it is to shift the atmosphere from survival into presence. And honestly, you can only be in presence when you feel safe enough to be in the moment, and that's not always true. This is going to be exciting. What is this again?
This one is crab cakes, and then some type of shrimp.
Have you had the ravioli before?
No, I have not.
Definitely my favorite thing from here. So.
Yeah, good stuff.
You gotta try it out.
For sure.
What got you wanting to do this particular show?
Worked in the emergency room for 6 years, so I
saw
saw the long-term effects of how eating affects you. Family from down south. Never ate a vegetable in my life as a kid that I can remember. And then I just had a best friend pass away last year, same age as me, but had heart complications, so he ended up getting a heart transplant and passed away. And it's just very important for me that we know there's other options and that there is good food out there. As you can see, there's a lot of great vegan food out there that tastes just as good, in my opinion, as whatever else you would get, and you don't walk away with the itis, you don't have the same like health complications. So, it's just kind of like introducing a different way of eating and living to people. Part of what I do is I only go to what I consider the best vegan restaurants. So if other people go, then, you know, they at least know this place is good. I can't vouch for every place because we both know
Right.
all vegan restaurants are not created equal. But if I'm showing you like the very best in each city and country, and we having good conversation, it's planting seeds, because, you know, nobody wants to be preached to or this and that. It's just, hey, this is available, go check it out. Are you vegan?
I consider myself plant-based because I do honey, I do a lot of traveling. Vegan, you know, they can be pretty serious about what they want to be.
Yeah, yeah.
I consider myself plant-based just because all that I eat are plants.
Right.
And veganism is beautiful. There are too many rules, and I don't like live in that.
Yeah.
I don't live in that particular place, but I do understand why they don't eat honey, why they don't wear particular shoes, and all of those kinds of things. I think that's amazing, and my journey into being plant-based is more of infinite possibilities than thinking about what I can and can't do.
I don't let anybody guilt me into anything. It's just like, I live my life, you know what I mean? For me, it's more so, I get caring for the animals, and I have no beef with the animals, but the bigger thing for me is when you start caring about black bodies and black people, then we can have that conversation, but we can't start there.
That's so important, because I noticed frustration years ago when it came to that. It seemed like there was a hierarchy of what we're going to care for.
Yeah.
When everything should be cared for.
Right.
There was a lot of agitation in, we want to make sure that certain things are alive, but everybody else, they can go. Because it can be a dog-eat-dog world. It can be very much who deserves to survive.
Right, right.
And all of that contributes to my decision making. And I really love for people to be able to critically think for themselves. You spoke of your best friend, and it resonated so much because I've gone into heart failure many times in my life. And I knew that movement could change it. But when I started to eat different, my body started to feel different. For people who have never experienced, I would say, heart complications or an intimate relationship with your heart, you can wake up in the night a lot different than other people. When you start to wake up and your heart's doesn't feel like something's shooting through your heart, when you wake up and it feels like you can breathe again, I can speak for myself. When I wake up and I feel like I can breathe easy, when I wake up and I can feel like my heart feels safe in my body, I want more of that. So I create atmosphere around me where I can have more of that.
Yeah,
and that's food.
And I'm glad you brought that up. Can you kind of talk about that period in your life? I believe it happened when you were going through your doctoral program.
My body shut down for many reasons. I was just going too much, and I was just doing all the things. No matter that my doctoral program was in what we consider alternative health, or whatever we want to call it, words are words. I was just doing life. I was doing the things. I was focused on 4.0. I was focused on the next test. There would be days, weeks that I wouldn't sleep. And I would only drink black coffee to stay up, to be able to study, to take exams. And that was my life.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have possibilities, I had a focus. This is what has to happen. This is how it has to happen. If this doesn't happen, my life won't be great. All of these harsh ways of being stopped me from thinking about, what did I want to eat? How did I want to interact when the teacher told me I wouldn't be able to do a certain thing? I didn't have a relationship with myself. I had a relationship with what I needed to do really to survive or to create an identity for myself. And that identity nearly killed me.
Wow.
So that's why I'm not so focused on it these days.
Right.
Because I am that I am.
Yeah, talk that talk. And so now
prepared.
you have a relationship with yourself, and I heard you say that it's important that we have a relationship with our breath and what that relationship is. Can you kind of talk about what being a sound facilitator is and what breathwork is?
I'll speak with breath first. It's the one thing that you came into this world with. It's the one thing, once it's gone, you don't exist. Connects the mind to the body. Mind, body, spirit. Mind, body, spirit, soul. It connects everything. The moment that you actually exhale into the moment, you're connected. To me, that's what breath work is. Now, I've been trained in ecstatic breath work, which is, derived to remove things out the body. Like go through traumatic experiences and all of those things and shift narratives. And I think it's quite important. And then I'm also trained in pranayama, where it's more of it's the yogic tradition. And I think that there's so many different types schools, but really with breath work, all that they are trying to do is create an atmosphere where you can connect to yourself, the one thing. Sound work, my favorite is vocal. Like the voice is my favorite instrument because it creates so much. And the cells really hear, it's your voice. So I love sounds, and sounds that really connect you to your ancestry. So most of the sound work that I do is not in English. That connects you more to what you've been taught.
Right.
And so a lot of times I'm sitting with folks and I'm inviting them to create sounds, and when they create those sounds, they realize that it connects them to the lineage as they are moving through understanding how the 7 generations before and creating for the 7 generations after. I absolutely love that it comes from within, which makes it accessible. Most of the wellness these days, you got to go find a thing and be in a place, but it creates accessibility because it's always here.
Right.
Whether you can actually articulate voice or you don't have that ability, it's always because you're creating it, you're moving things. Now, I do gong baths and I do sound bowls, and those are to create a particular frequency because your body responds to outward frequencies. So those put you in a particular state so that your body can lean into it and create healing mechanisms. If there's resistance to it, it won't. If there's not resistance, it will. Create healing mechanisms that really open the body to possibilities that it didn't know it could do.
Right.
Because the person's being held in a different frequency than the frequencies that probably brought them into their current situation. There's such a power in trusting the moment. The moment you trust that, you breathe. When you're actually breathing, you're trusting, you're becoming one with everything. And it no longer needs to be a fight. I think sometimes power dynamic is, this is something that can overcome something, or this is something that can be a fight. But I find power in being able to stand and be connected to everything without it being a fight. And that can happen when you trust yourself enough to breathe.
Got some food popping. We're gonna get into this and then we'll come back with some more questions. Yeah, let's dig in. This looks good.
Yes. I'm just delving into soy. I do notice its effects on my body. But I now play with it here and there. It feels inflammatory to me. I noticed it also, it has emotional effects on me. And so I started playing mostly with edamame, and I was like, oh, okay. And then fermented soy, just to see, right? I like to see what happens in my body versus being afraid of it, because there's so many different types of soy.
Right, and I mean, I think that's a great place to be, where you can like actually feel and see how things affect your body, you know, because a lot of us just kind of eat whatever we eat, and people feel terrible. They don't know why. It's really all in the food, in my opinion.
It's also frequency and vibration. It's what you're inviting into your body.
Right.
You are what you eat.
Good things, good things. This is voted the #1 vegan restaurant in Atlanta, actually.
Okay. Makes sense.
So, you know what I'm saying? Only the best for you.
If the principles are that the body has this innate ability to heal, I have to show, like, I want you to see that. That is so important to me. I need you to see that your body is designed to heal. No matter what is happening, no matter what manifestation of health you're in, your body is trying to heal.
Right.
What would it be like for you to understand the story versus fight it? And so that's how it began looking like I was hands off. Because I wanted people to be intimate with their own stories.
Right.
I wanted them to see the beauty that I saw in their stories.
I always ask my guests about self-care, because it's so important that we all do that and find a self-care routine. So what does self-care look like for you on a daily or weekly basis?
It starts with me in the morning, connecting with my inner child, inner children, all that exists, and asking how we want to play today. That is the most important thing that needs to happen. I have to introduce play. I walk and go to the gym and all those other things because I have to connect to my body. When so much of my work is, as being a medium, is connecting to different realms, I have to remind my body that, okay, we're here to do it. Right. So that's daily. I go to the gym. Tuesday I went 3 times in the same day.
You say Tuesday 3 times?
Tuesday I went at 6 a.m., 12, and 7:15.
Okay, I gotta step it up. I was doing 2 days, but she hit me with the 3. Okay.
But that's not every day. The deeper self-care is sitting with the parts of me that, and the reason why I work with my inner working systems is there are parts of me that I've hidden away because of shame and all of those things, and sitting with that and beginning to love all of the versions of me. No matter how much I've done this work, there's more versions of me that I've hidden from myself and hidden from the world because of any identity I've created. So that is, as soon as I notice that coming up for me, I create space daily or weekly, whenever it hits, to sit with that.
Right.
I have my own support system on retainer. I see her every week. And the reason why that is important to me is because to the degree that I sit with myself, to the degree that I love myself, to the degree that I care for myself, that is how I care for the community.
Right.
So self-care to me is only for community care because I'm not in this world alone.
Right. Thanks for sharing that. I like to always hear what different people do, just in case it's something I haven't thought of, and it's like, oh, let me try that out. Like for me, same routine. I wake up before I even get out of bed, transcendental meditation. I do my session, go to the gym, and that's kind of like my routine. And similar to you, if I'm working, I'm off in another state and I can't make it to the gym, then I'll play catch up. Like this week, I'm doing my two a days, but now I might try to see if I could get a 3 a day in there. But those things are super important. Trying to get into nature, like that's definitely something I don't do enough of. We kind of talked offline about, I just got back from Costa Rica, so you know, just really connecting with Mother Earth and nature, and you know, it's a drastic difference in how you feel when you're spending your time doing things like that, connecting, versus, as we were just talking, scrolling and like seeing the endless feed of meaningless things. So, you know, just trying to be intentional and present, and you know, just maximize the time that I've been given down here, because as you said, it's not just about me. It's the reason why I do the show. It's like, I'm good. My life is good. I love my life. But now let me help those who might not be where I'm at, or even know how to get out of the rut that they're in. So, yeah.
You named nature, and I was like, yeah. That's why I like mountain climbing. That's why I like ice climbing. So those moments, you know, we talk about the earth, but to be actually touching the earth with your, well, not necessarily bare hands when you're climbing, but to be with something that's bigger than you, that's existed for all of this time and knows its purpose and is steadfast and immovable in its purpose. There's nothing like it, taking your shoes off and walking in nature.
It's our greatest teacher, you know, because nature will tell us how to live, like you just said. Something that is steadfast and unmovable. It knows its purpose, which I believe your work helps people to see that in themselves. You won't take the credit. I'm gonna give you the credit. You are a help, you know, to those who are seeking something greater. So, is there any advice you can give to anybody out there who might be out of tune with themselves or who's not breathing fully? What are some things they can kind of do to get to that true essence of who they are?
The first thing that comes to mind when you ask that question is start where you are. I think you can scroll Instagram or you can scroll anywhere and try to become what people have outlined or bulleted in a meme as perfection. You start with knowing that you are perfection and that you are whole. You start in that place. Even if you're listening to this, I invite you to just close your eyes and notice your body breathing. Before you need to do anything with your breath, just notice that your body is breathing. And when you notice that your body's breathing, you just get this opportunity to be alive. Not do life, not be a particular person. And from that place, begin to create. Now you may not have 30 minutes to do it, you may not have 5 minutes to do it. Then in the moment that you're invited to, maybe even in this moment, just notice that your body's breathing. Your purpose isn't in this world to do anything. Your purpose in this world is to be, and everything comes from that. And I'm also encouraged to say, I'll never promise that what you're experiencing is going to get better. What I can name for you is that if you go outside, you will always see that it's darkest before the dawn. It always happens, and it happens in cyclical, it happens in routine. For someone listening, they're trying to get better and they're trying to do all of those things. Release the need to get better and know that the sun rises and falls every day. The moon will rise and fall and show itself every day. What would it be like to just know your power in the way that those things radiate theirs? That's what feels true for me.
Dr. Crystal Jones, dropping bars, mixtape coming soon. But no, I appreciate you sitting down with me, having this meal, sharing your time and your wisdom. And yeah, hopefully we can build in the future. Yes. Thank you for having me. Yeah. Young Black and Vegan. You want to try this?